Top 8 Most Controversial Royal Wedding Dresses Ever Worn. Royal weddings are supposed to be safe moments. Predictable, carefully choreographed displays of tradition, obedience, and continuity. The dress, above all else, is meant to reassure the public that nothing is changing too fast. But sometimes, the dress does the opposite. Sometimes, a royal wedding gown doesn't just walk down the aisle, it sets off alarms. Critics sharpen their knives. Headlines explode. Protocol officers cringe. And suddenly, a bride's fabric choices become a referendum on monarchy, morality, and power. Today, we're revisiting 8 royal wedding dresses that didn't just turn heads. They divided nations, angered traditionalists, and still spark arguments years later. These are the gowns that broke rules, offended expectations, or symbolized something far bigger than lace and silk. Let's begin. At number 8, Princess Margaret, Too Modern Wedding Dress. When Princess Margaret married Anthony Armstrong Jones in 1960, the monarchy was already on edge. This was the Queen's rebellious younger sister, a woman known for pushing boundaries, embracing modern art, and resisting royal restraint. And her wedding dress reflected that tension perfectly. Designed by Norman Hartnell, the gown was sleek, minimal, and shockingly understated for its time. No excessive embroidery, no towering train, no fairytale extravagance. Critics complained it looked cold. Some said it lacked romance. Others whispered that it felt deliberately anti-traditional, almost like Margaret was rejecting the fantasy expected of her. In an era obsessed with opulence, simplicity was read as defiance. While the dress is admired today for its elegance, at the time it unsettled royal watchers who wanted reassurance, not restraint. At number 7, Princess Charlene's unhappy wedding gown. Few royal wedding dresses have been analyzed as emotionally as this one. When Princess Charlene of Monaco married Prince Albert II in 2011, her Giorgio Armani gown was technically flawless. Structured silk, long sleeves, regal restraint. But controversy didn't come from the fabric. It came from her face. Viewers around the world noticed Charlene appeared distant, tense, and visibly emotional, even tearful during the ceremony. Almost immediately, tabloids linked her expression to the dress itself. Some critics called it too severe. Others said it looked more like armor than celebration. Rumors spread that the high neckline and rigid silhouette symbolized reluctance rather than joy. Whether fair or not, the dress became inseparable from speculation about her happiness, turning a wedding gown into a symbol of discomfort and constraint. At number 6, Princess Masako's traditional imperial kimono. Not all controversy comes from rebellion. Sometimes it comes from expectation. When Empress Masako married Crown Prince Naruhito of Japan, she wore a traditional white Junieto-style kimono. The look was deeply cultural, formal, and rooted in centuries of imperial symbolism. But international media reacted with confusion, even criticism. Western commentators called it outdated. Some labeled it restrictive. Others described it as oppressive, unaware of its cultural weight. Inside Japan, however, the controversy was more complex. The dress symbolized purity, but also submission, a role Masako would later struggle deeply with. Over time, the gown became associated not with celebration, but with the pressures placed on her royal identity. At number 5, Crown Princess Victoria's high-neck surprise. When Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden married Daniel Wesseling in 2010, expectations were clear. Classic Scandinavian elegance. What the public got was a gown that sparked quiet outrage. The dress itself was elegant, ivory satin, fitted bodice, long train, but its high neckline and minimalist design triggered debate. Some critics found it too plain for a future queen. Others argued it lacked grandeur and authority. Even more controversial, the perception that the dress downplayed her royal status to elevate her husband's background as a former personal trainer. In royal circles, subtlety can be read as symbolism, and this gown was interpreted as a political statement whether intended or not. At number 4, Princess Diana's over-the-top fairytale dress. It's impossible to ignore this one. When Princess Diana married Prince Charles in 1981, her dress instantly became the most famous wedding gown in history. But iconic doesn't mean universally loved. The dress featured a 25-foot train, puffed sleeves the size of clouds, and layers upon layers of taffeta. Critics at the time were brutal. Some called it excessive, others mocked it as costume-like. Fashion editors whispered that it looked outdated even before the wedding ended. What made it controversial wasn't just the size, it was the symbolism. The gown represented a fantasy that Diana herself would later admit didn't match reality. In hindsight, many see the dress as a visual metaphor for pressure, expectation, and a role she was never prepared to carry. At number 3, Meghan Markle's minimalist wedding dress. Few royal dresses sparked faster backlash. When Meghan Markle married Prince Harry in 2018, her Givenchy gown shocked traditionalists. No lace, no embroidery, no visible homage to royal history. Critics called it plain. Some labeled it disrespectful. Others accused it of deliberately rejecting British royal aesthetics in favor of modern celebrity minimalism. Supporters praised its elegance and symbolism, a clean slate, a new kind of royal bride. But the outrage revealed something deeper, discomfort with change. The dress wasn't controversial because of how it looked, but because of what it represented. At number 2, Queen Letizia's fashion-forward wedding gown. When Queen Letizia of Spain married Prince Felipe in 2004, her wedding dress immediately divided Spain. Designed by Manuel Perdigaz, the gown featured an unusually high collar, structured lines, and embroidered royal symbols stitched directly into the fabric. Critics argued the dress was too stiff, too political, too masculine in silhouette. Some felt it erased romance in favor of authority. Others accused Letizia, a former journalist and commoner, of using the gown to assert power rather than humility. The dress didn't just mark her marriage, it marked her arrival, and that unsettled many. At number 1, Queen Camilla's non-traditional wedding outfit. This one broke every expectation. When Queen Camilla married Prince Charles in 2005, she didn't wear a traditional wedding gown at all. Instead, she chose a pale blue ensemble with a wide-brimmed hat. No veil, no train, no illusion of virginity or fairytale. The controversy was immediate. Critics accused the look of avoiding symbolism. Others said it deliberately distanced itself from Diana's legacy. Some viewed it as pragmatic. Others saw it as a refusal to play by royal rules. But the truth is simpler. The dress acknowledged reality. And in royal culture, reality is often the most controversial thing of all. Royal wedding dresses aren't just garments. They're messages about power, tradition, rebellion, and identity. Every stitch is scrutinized. Every choice is politicized. And when a dress dares to challenge expectation, the backlash is rarely about fashion alone. So the next time a royal bride steps onto the world stage, remember this: the controversy isn't accidental. It's woven into the fabric.